Bang. I'll never get that right on time. What's good, everybody? We're back. Freezing cold takes. It was Wednesday night. It might be Thursday morning somewhere. Who cares? Wherever you're watching this, whenever you are, thanks for being here right now. And I gotta thank the homies for being here. But I'm just gonna thank them when they're not on stream. No. What's good, homies? How we doing tonight, man?
What's up?
What's going on? Feeling good, bro. Feeling good. Excited to be back over here with the cool table. You know what I'm saying? It's always great to be over here with the homies.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, man. And we get to talk about what we love talking about, you know. Zack Snyder talking about his own movies, diving deeper, and hearing it from him himself, you know. A lot of times, like, the story we have to explain to people, you know. We're kind of like the bearers of like the news, like, oh well, no, actually this happened and this is what went on, and people are like, oh, okay. They kind of like, they don't really believe it, or they take it with a grain of salt because it's just coming from somebody else, right? It's not coming from Zack Snyder himself. But now he's telling you a lot of things that went on at that point. Like, it's not breaking news to us, but to a lot of people, the things that he's saying in the interviews about, like, the rewrites and how they wanted the movie to be funnier, and how, you know, he was very adamant about keeping the Nightmare verse in there, and how he always got notes about things that he was doing in the Justice League or in Batman versus Superman. You know, that's not news to us, but it is to other people. So yeah. It's a very cool interview, and I'm glad that we get to talk about it, and I'm glad that the chat is here to talk about it too. We got the usuals in the house. Obviously, you know, the Mr. J's in here, and I wish that StreamYard showed the emojis. You have to tell us what those were, man. We got Mr. J, Havoc, Mama Bear. Of course, we got Sickness. What's up, though, fam? Yo, Sickness, are you watching any of the games right now? Let us know. Keep us updated. Yeah, Zack Snyder revealed a lot of information. Yeah, exactly, for the general audience. Because how many people you guys think, like, are Russo Brothers fans that are like Marvel fans, and they really are like kind of itching for that Russo Brothers style, which, you know, we all know that it's really just in admiration of what Zack Snyder did. They even say it. They're like, yeah, we were doing research on how you did the lighting in there. It's like, and I found out that this is what you did. It's like, oh, you were researching. Why did you have to figure out what he was doing, huh? And so they even say that there. And I think people who loved Infinity War, loved Endgame, loved Winter Soldier, that style of Marvel, you can attribute that to, you know, the Russo brothers, but also the fact that, you know, they really mirrored a lot of what Zack Snyder did, and they admire what he does in general. So that's why they had him on to ask about Zack Snyder's Justice League. It just makes a lot of sense, and it's very cool. So how many people do you think, you know, are just like, oh shit, Zack Snyder's Justice League? Maybe they haven't seen it, right?
Quite possible. Yeah, quite possible.
How many people do you think also said, oh, is that on Netflix?
One day.
Oh.
One day. And that's one thing that we're gonna talk about too tonight is one day. But Havoc obviously coming through, and he's lighting it up tonight. He says Russo should have started the program with we're sorry for stealing your ideas, Zach. Yeah, for real. No hate on the Russos that much, but I mean, we know what it is. They got notes from, and an idea, and, you know, a framework from the stolen ideas from Zach.
I'm pretty sure they had their own original ideas for those films, and then, you know, after a while, you know what happens, right?
What do you do? And Steven here, filming gaming Blogosphere, thanks for coming through as well. He's saying part 1 was awesome. Can't wait for part 2. Yeah, who knows what they drop in part 2? And hopefully we don't get like another episode of somebody else in between this, and they just give it to us like next week. I don't want to wait that long. Don't give me somebody else in between this. But yeah, dude, it's not my bad, Austin. Nothing at the moment. Got to fight for the TV with these kids. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Dalton is real. But yeah, man, one day. You said one day. That is one thing I want to talk about but that was a little bit later, I guess, in the interview, if you're actually watching it. I thought it was when I was watching it, I kept thinking of like the one Russo brother. I don't know who Joe is, and I don't even know who the other's name is. I imagine the silver-haired one is
Joe is the one that's usually talking. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Anthony is the young. Yeah, I think he's younger. Yeah.
Okay, so I felt like a lot of times he almost kept cutting Zach off. I was like, dude, can you just like let Zach talk and like finish real quick? But he did ask a lot of good questions, and I liked how he kind of explained things, because you can imagine how they've probably never really had this discussion before, and that's how it is. It kind of is in Hollywood now, right? Like, let's monetize the discussion. Let's have a podcast about it. They maybe talk beforehand. They're like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about, blah, blah, blah. But then they really have like the discussion, and like, we can cut it up later. And to me, some parts felt like there was edited out. I was like, oh, it felt like a little jump skip right there. I wonder what was said in between that point and this point. And it wasn't until he started talking about like the Batman and Lois thing, the Bruce Wayne and Lois thing, when I really noticed that. So I had to go back through again and be like, oh, what else was like kind of jump cut in here? What else was cut out? But who knows? That's just that's a Hollywood thing. But I think it was a really freaking cool interview. I liked how they kept asking him like, how do you go about this process? How do you go about this process? And then they kept honing it back. He would give a background of like, oh, well, I started doing this, blah, blah, blah. But then they honed it back to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, how did you do the process for this? And it's funny how their process was really like, it's really business kind of oriented. Like, yes, they have like multiple minds and everything, but they're very more structured, where the artist of Zack is able to work with Chris Terrio and be like, oh man, this dude's a madman, but like he came up with ideas after ideas after ideas, and we were able to write it into the script, and we had that script like ready as a blueprint when we were working on Batman vs Superman. And I imagine they're both like, oh fuck, that's a super good idea. Like, we should definitely have that. And I'm sure that's what they're doing with like what Marvel's doing now with like Secret Wars and all of that. I mean, it's a obviously not that genius of an idea, but everything that Zach was saying, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, how much of this are they gonna go back through and be like, all right, we should do this too, like, but that's the whole point of being artists, is learning from one another and kind of learning each other's process. So that makes sense as far as that goes. And obviously now I think they would consider themselves friends. But as far as the interview process goes, how did you guys feel about it? Did you like that Joe talks more? Did you feel like me that he kind of was cutting them off, or was that just like a me thing? I don't know. I'm very hyper like sensitive when I listen to things. Go ahead.
I'll go. All right. Nah, man, I just thought they were pretty excited just to be talking with Zach. And sometimes when you get excited, you might fanboy out a little, and maybe he was not even really realizing he was. He was just like, because they obviously admire what Zach does, so it was like maybe somewhat even though and it's cool too when you get to see like, I always love when I see people who are really at the top tier of their game interview each other.
Yeah,
because they all kind of understand the language, they know what they're talking about for the most part, so it's always cool to see that, and it kind of lets you into a world you're not really in, to see these guys who are top tier filmmakers bouncing off of each other, talking about things. And what you're saying earlier, what that kind of reminds me of too is Zach is more like, I don't know, rebel punk rock. Yeah. Where those guys might obviously more corporate, more buttoned down how they go about things. Doesn't make it any worse or any better, but Zach is like, hey man, give me an amp and a guitar, and I'm gonna make a song. You know, he doesn't need all these other things. He's gonna get it done, and that, you know, that's just like that total punk rock attitude. You know, get it done. You know, give me some instruments, and we'll knock out an album or something. But no, I enjoyed it. I didn't really feel that way about it. I didn't see him getting cut off. I think a lot of us too are just after what happened with Zack, with the prior stuff we had seen going on. This might be a little hypersensitive. Like if we see something, we're gonna be like, "What was that? Did they just cut him off? Did they just jump at it?
Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, we're all a little like, you know, and that's fine because that's exactly what happened. You know, you got one guy magically editing, and you know, James Gunn into the conversation. They're like, "What the fuck this happened there, man? What?"
Yeah, right.
No,
right.
No, there was nothing like that going on with the Russos. Those guys are classier. I enjoyed it, man.
For sure, dude. And before you go, Sky, I do want to just add with that classier comment. Like, that was the first reaction I had when I first, like, the first couple of minutes of watching it was like, this is how you do an interview with Zack Snyder.
Didn't Zack look so much more comfortable?
Yo, this is how you do an interview with Zack. Like, this is how it should have been done.
Talking away and not like.
How many interviews have we seen with him, and it has never been done like this, like it should have been done, like full length, a homie set. Like, I mean, and I know not everyone's capable of that, but at least the first question was just personable. All right, let's learn a little bit more about you, Zack. Boom. Okay. Like, yes, not everyone here who's tuning into this is a super fan and knows exactly where you started and everything. And when you ask him those questions, he's able to hash out things, maybe even dish out something that we've never heard before.
Didn't you like that revelation? He flunked film school.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he did. He's like, it's kind of good.
That was like,
I mean, it's kind of good.
That's my boy right there. You know, he's like, I was still making movies.
I love that. He's like, the real film school for me was when I was from 25 to 35, when I was just filming music videos and commercials and actually working. It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can sit there and talk about shit all day until you get out there and actually do it. Mm-hmm. As we all know, as whatever profession you're in, there's a big difference.
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Oh my God, yeah. So Sky, go ahead. What was your feelings on that? Did you feel like me? Were you kind of hearing Necron now? It makes a lot of sense. It's kind of just like past like interviews. It's like, oh, you're cutting him off. What the fuck? Let him talk. But maybe that was just me.
Yeah. I mean, I did. You know, Joe is kind of the more talkative one out of the Russos, anyway, right? And so he does talk quite a bit, right? So I wasn't really surprised that he was talking a lot. I do also believe, like Necron said, that you know, we are a bit kind of hypersensitive in certain aspects, and as well, I think that they were a bit, you know, a tad bit nervous, right? They obviously knew that this was going to be the biggest interview that they ever did, right? There's all this stuff going on the line, right, where he has this massive fan base, right, and they don't know how we were going to react to it, right? And I just, you know, I'm pretty sure that there was a lot going on at one time during that stream, and so for it to come out as awesome as it did was pretty dope. I was highly impressed. But I do feel that, you know, when you're sitting down with your peers, it is a lot easier to have a conversation. If you notice, they were like geeking out and talking about the relationships between them and their camera operators and all that kind of stuff. It was super dope, and you know, I cannot wait for part 2. So I was highly impressed with this interview.
Word, yeah. That's exactly my first impressions of it too. And I was just watching it like just before the stream to kind of get a little refreshed on it. So there is one specific aspect of the stream that I showed you guys a clip of it just to test it out. So that's kind of like what I want to end on. But I do want to talk about what they spoke about beforehand. Of course, Mikey's bombing the stream. Yeah, he did say earlier on Pandora's Box, and quick plug, if you didn't watch it, go peep Pandora's Box on Necron's channel. I gotta get all your guys' links connected to my channel. I'm slacking on that, but I'll have it down in the description at the end of this video. Watch Pandora's Box, a lot of bombs, good talk, and a little preview for next week's video. But yeah, Mikey did say on
extraordinary.
He was gonna be watching that, dude. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll be watching later, but I'm gonna be in a conference call, but I'll be watching." Just sending Sky
extraordinary, extraordinary. Yeah.
Oh, the Heat got spanked. Oh, Eston bringing us a little.
Man,
he got spanked again.
Oh, they lost.
Who are they playing? Aren't they down 0-2 now? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, indeed. Oh boy.
Oh boy for Sky. But yeah. So before we get and close on that last topic, really, and that's what they kind of ended part 1 on, which is very fitting. I don't know if when they were editing it up, they were like, oh, this should be the end of part 1, and it's kind of an hour long anyways. But yeah, as you said, you get more comfortable when you're talking about it around your peers, because there's a time when you become at a certain level, there's people who just don't understand, right? As they were talking about like operating different people on a set and having to have the whole story in their mind as directors, and you have to delegate, and you have to understand those jobs, like, what are they doing? Okay, they're doing this, and I have to tell them this so they can be the organ that it pumps, whatever part they need to pump through the rest of the body of the film shoot. Like, if you've never been on a film set or around a film shoot, like, there's just so many people who need to be operated on. When you see movie credits, like, there's a reason why they just go for minutes, because there's like so many people who are involved, and that's just in the actual production and shooting on set, not to mention pre-production and post-production. So I liked how they were talking about that, and I feel like as those people who do those things and have done it on such a massive scale and have done it successfully on a massive scale, I think it's very hard to come around the same like-minded people who have the same experience, but also a very different experience at a different company. It's kind of like when you see two quarterbacks come together and talk, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, when they're talking like and playing golf together and like sharing secrets and talking about things. And Tom Brady was like, oh yeah, I took your cadence or something like that. I think, so I thought that was very cool to see that. And like you said, Sky, that's why exactly, like, they're definitely more open, and why the dialogue was longer and better and more professional. They could actually relate to Zack Snyder a bit. But as Havoc says here, like, Russo Brothers were auditioning for Zack Snyder's universe. That would be sick.
I wouldn't blame them, dude.
That would be sick. At least they know how he does stuff. They've researched it. Yeah, Zack looked very comfortable and at ease. Homie was eating pizza. So funny.
He's having a good time talking about his movie.
Yeah. Be more relatable too. As he's eating pizza, just has like some acid reflux. I'm like, oh, I felt that, Zach. He's like, I was like, I feel that, bro. I feel you trying to eat and talk at the same time. Like,
that's too funny.
I felt that shit, dude. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, oh, poor Zach. Like, why are you eating? He's eating a thick Detroit style pizza, like, for the interview. I'm like, oh my god, how are they gonna set my man Zach up like that? All right, Frank said the series is tied at 1-1. That's Heat versus who? Or maybe I missed that. Whoever he said the Heat were playing.
Talking about the Heat.
Yeah, Heat for somebody. But Nightwing said, oh, he had to get caught up on the Mando season finale. Yeah, dude, definitely catch that interview, catch the rest of that, and we'll talk about. We have a little clip from the end of it, but the beginning part was again one of my favorite parts. I kind of set him up, let him talk about it. And he talked about delegating his camera operators, and he told us a little snippet. I don't know if I've ever showed it because I've never seen, like, or I don't remember the behind the scenes of Dawn of the Dead when they're doing the filming of it. Because I guess he said in the interview how he had to have the camera operator run backwards and shoot down a manhole because the dude like jumps out of the store and down a manhole. And I guess they rigged it up so it was a monitor in front of him and the camera was pointing down backwards, so he would run over and go like this and the camera would go down. I was like, what, dude? And I still have to Google it. I want to see that. But they said they were gonna splice it in the one Russo brother, Anthony, was like, we have to figure out a way to splice it in, and they didn't. I'm like, what the? You don't even show that part? What the? I want to see it. And I guess Zach ended up doing that though, which was such a cool little tidbit that I don't know if anyone's known before. Today's Pandora's Box, perfect. Mama Bear,
thank you, Mama Bear.
There. Awesome. Always dropping the links. Yeah, you got to.
Shout out to Pandora's Box Show. Y'all be sure to catch that every Wednesday. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like anything goes on Pandora's.
I'm sorry. Hey, man. Yo.
Havoc's got a point, though. The film crews are about 200 people minimum. It's freaking crazy. So when you have like indie films, you got to wonder like how short staffed they are and how many people are like wearing multiple hats just to get an indie film done. I blame Skiiwalker. Yeah, bro. Who knows what's in his DMs right now, dude? Who knows? Please, Zach, let's come on board.
The wackiest
DMs.
The wacky, yeah.
Hey, you want to know what's crazy, yo? You know, the one thing that I've always tried to respect, right, in life is 6 degrees of separation, yo. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is ever too far out of reach. You're usually 6 connections from anybody on the planet. Literally.
Back.
Right? Oh my God, that's crazy.
You're not as safe as you think you are, right?
Ooh, oh my God. Yeah. But back to Pizza Film School, yo. Oh my God. This was such a dope interview as like a Zack Snyder fan to be able to have and like chew on, right, and be able to really hear about what his process is and kind of like how his mind works. I didn't know that he was a painter.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, me either.
Yeah. But it's funny, right? Because I've always said, like, if you can kind of pause his movies on almost any frame, and it looks like a painting, right? Especially Batman versus Superman, right? It's just, oh my goodness, like throughout that entire movie, right? Almost every frame is like a painting, right? And so, learning that he actually is in reality a painter, it just makes so much more sense. And yo, he's such a talented dude. And hearing him in this type of venue was super dope. And I'm glad that he did it, and I'm glad that the Russos had him.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I thought that was such a cool like everything we learned about that, dude. That's so sick. And like you said, I'm just thinking about that camera angle, dude. I want to see that so bad. I want to see
You're on that, yeah.
I want to see that rig. Like, how did he pull that off? Did they film like him doing it? Like, how does that even work, man? I thought that was so cool. But yeah, Necron, did you have anything else to add as far as like what the little tidbits that you learned that you didn't expect? And like he was a painter, dude. Like I want to find those paintings. Are they out there? Where do they exist? Can I get one? Like what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I like just hearing about him and working with his cameraman, his main operator, and how they have to keep he's like he's taken his picture basically of of the visual he wants to create. So he has to be and basically on the same wavelength with the guy, right? Because if that guy doesn't capture it, it kind of the whole thing goes to shit, So yeah, I just like learning about how they the film process and that. Nothing like super revealing. Something the painter thing that was cool. And well, I don't want to ruin your next thing, so yeah.
Oh, that was one thing that's sticks out for sure. Yeah, no, I hear that.
Yeah.
No,
that whole discussion was like a little more insight, and that was cool.
right, absolutely. I thought, and this will be pertinent for one the images that I wanted to bring up. He spoke about how Billy Crudup was one actor that really taught him a lot when he worked on Watchmen with him, and how going over rehearsals with actors and kind of introducing them to the material, how it can wear some of them out, and learning the lines is difficult when sometimes you're just saying a sound. It's not even something that you really believe or like you're actually saying as an actor or the character. And the whole discussion about that, I thought that was really cool. And I'm picturing Billy Crudup as Mr. Manhattan. He's like, yeah, Zach was like, he really embodied the character and what he brought and brought him to life. And I was just thinking about how well he played Mr. Manhattan, and at the same time he's also teaching Zack Snyder about like how actors operate and rehearse lines, and he helped Zack Snyder let go of the material, he said, and Zack Snyder said this, and let the actors bring it to life and kind of bring their own things to the material as well.
And I like that conversation about how he was telling him, the difference between like a Broadway actor or
yes,
a theater actor and an actor who has to work on film or TV. Where and I never even thought that like a Broadway actor really can sit there and perfect the performance because they get so many multiple chances, to do it. And while a movie guy, you got to do it on, pretty much on the spot. After that, you're not going to get all these chances.
No, and you don't have that time. You don't have like
that's
the
something
stage.
I never even thought of.
Yeah, the stage in Broadway, like you do have different sets, but you're standing in the same spot. Like realistically, you kind of like change. You might change, like, oh, I'll be standing higher over here, but you're still standing on the same spot. Like with a set, like so many different things change, and so many there's so many different moving parts that you just can't. You can't have the weeks and weeks of takes, because that set that you have might have to get torn down like tomorrow, but you have today to fucking film the shit with, you know what I mean? Or like whoever needs to be on the set with you to rehearse, like won't be available when you're finally ready to do it. Like you just have, the 4 or 5 takes. And it was cool that the introduction of Snyder doing like multiple heroed superhero movies was the Watchmen film, and that he was able to learn that specific critique and tidbit and piece of knowledge from the Mr. Manhattan, the one who holds all of the knowledge. And like, you know what I mean? Like he leaves Earth because he can't, but he passed down like one of the most invaluable pieces of knowledge, and he was able to help Zack Snyder free his own material and let the great, amazing actors that he cast bring these characters to life. And then in turn, we fall in love with those characters even more because those actors make them real. And Zack already made the scene cinematic, right? Like he already framed it perfectly, like years, months, if not years in advance, before they're actually getting there, and the actor is in uniform and all of that. So yeah, I thought that was so cool. Mr. Manhattan dropped that piece of knowledge on for Zack, and Zack talked about it. And then again, you hear the one thing I didn't know about the Russos was how they had a comedy improv background, and they kind of let their actors do more comedy. the one clip they dropped, and the one thing that Zack said about how they did a rewrite on the first Justice League and they made it lighter. He's like, yeah, they wanted to. The studio kept saying that they want it to be more funny. They want it to be more funny, and they cut the clip in from Zack Snyder's Justice League when all the people are laughing, and the old guy's laughing. He's like, how dare this dog speak to us like children? And I was like, yo, they're like, it was almost felt like the Russo brothers were responding to Zack saying that, like, oh, you think our movies are just fucking funny? Like, oh, I thought that was hilarious, dude. I was like, yo, this is fucking great. This is great that they're using Zack's clips to kind of like rebuttal at him. But yeah, that was so cool though. The Billy Crudup like teaching, and then he uses him as a father in Zack Snyder's Justice League, the father, the Flash. And yeah, it was just a very cool interview. And when I was listening to it and it stopped, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what the? It's just over with? Like, damn. But yeah, they started talking more about how they dealt with the actors and their process towards that. So I wanted to bring up probably the biggest line that came from this. And Sky's in the... You guys think
chat.
so that...
Go ahead and read that, y'all. Look, he's sitting there, just going through this interview, just like Austin said, right? Like, when it ended, I was just like, what the hell? Like, I really wanted so much more. And, you know, I really, really just cannot stress how much I'm waiting for part 2. I feel like part 2, they're probably going to get into some juicier stuff. And it's all great. It's all great.
Well, too, and I think that he'll be even a little more obviously comfortable because the interview already, you know, it'll be part 2, so he's gonna be even looser talking with them. So we'll probably get some better stuff out of it too, I'm sure, as well. But
hey, that's some crazy
Speechless
stuff.
is all I can say on that other stuff. Like, what?
That's crazy.
Oh God.
That's wild, Joe. That's actually pretty special. That's pretty special, right?
You know, Austin's like, holy shit.
Wow.
Woo! Wow. Oh man, dope.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Austin. I just want to drop that on y'all.
We said checkmate. That's all.
Checkmate, right? Checkmate.
You said checkmate.
All I gotta say,
we said checkmate.
By the time this is over, dude, this man will not have to dye his hair gray anymore. It's just gonna be natural,
shit,
bro. He's gonna age 30 years, probably. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Fuck you guys, dude. Yo, so now that some people have said it in the chat too, like as far as the projected and desired Snyderverse movies, like if we only get Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, fine, right? Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Actually amazing, right? But if there's more to be on the table than that, like, you know, maybe a Batfleck movie, maybe a Suicide Squad 2, maybe, you know, whatever you want, right? Man of Steel 2, namely. Would you guys want to see the Russo brothers direct one of those?
I would have no problem with it myself.
And okay, so what would you want to see him direct then? That's a good question, right?
Hey, man, I'm a big fan of Winter Soldier because it's, and I think he could do that Batman versus, I mean, or they, so let me rephrase that. We could do that Batman versus Deathstroke with all the intrigue going on behind the scenes, all that, like he had in Captain America and the double crossing and all that, and they're gonna obviously they'll be getting notes from a certain Zack Snyder too. So how could it go wrong? So that's total speculation on my end. But hell yeah, dude, I'm fine with it.
That would be so sick. That's such a good idea. I did not even think of that, dude. The comparison between Winter Soldier and then having that Batman Deathstroke movie.
With Deathstroke pulling all those moves behind the scenes, fucking up everything. Wow.
Oh, what do you think, Sky? You think that's a good idea?
Yeah, what Necron just described sounds pretty dope. I'm pretty sure that they could lend their talents to like a few different projects, right? So just in that situation, whatever they would be comfortable kind of taking on would be, what I would be looking forward to.
Yeah. And I know I keep remembering little tidbits, so sorry to prolong the final bit of this interview even further, but it's been speculated or desired for. I honestly would want this if the Snyderverse did come to Netflix. If Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 were to be made, that they may be made in like a series format. And they talked about how TV shows now are changing the game, and that's where you can be the most surprising, and that's where you can have more time with the character, so you can develop more of a relationship with them. So then when you kill them off, it's more surprising, and it's not just like, oh fuck, we only had like 20 minutes with them. Why the fuck?
There's no connection, yeah.
Right, and why are they fighting each other? We don't understand because there's not enough of a story. But you can really do that in a TV show, and I thought it was very. As people who always look at the little things and look into the details and look at the double meaning of things, like, well, why would you mention that? Like, and I think Snyder kind of just said that like unprompted. They were speaking about films and he spoke about it, like, oh yeah, it was meant to be a series at one point, the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he said, you can really do more now with TV, and it. In a way, if you're a Zack Snyder fan, you're like, oh shit, well, if you can do more with TV, like, I would really love to see him do a TV show, but I would love to see him do a DC TV show. It's like, well, what does that look like to you? Does that look like Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2, but it's a limited series, all right? And then we do Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 3, but then it's another limited series, right? And it's like season 1, season 2, or whatever. What does it look like to you guys, though, if that's the case? And did you pick that up as well when you heard? Did you pick up on that when he spoke about the series part?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that Zach's pretty much covering all bases, right? Pretty much saying like, hey, no matter what format this thing takes, it can work, right? It can work as a movie, it can work as a limited series or a TV show. Obviously, like, I'm all for long movies, right? I mean, long movies used to be a thing, right? Like, it wasn't uncommon for a movie to be over 3.5 hours, right? And so, as long as it's dope, right? I don't mind it. That's typically like a studio thing, though, and them trying to get in more screenings like per day, and so in terms of content, but if this thing is on Netflix and we can enjoy it at our own leisure and our own pace, right? Why not go for make it however long that it needs to be,
right? Yeah, as long as you want it to be, right? Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine too, like if they went, the route of like releasing an episode, like, I don't know, once a week, how that could really just keep on.
Yes.
Keep that in the spotlight, because and instead of just releasing them all, like dropping them all at one point, you get that quick boom, boom, boom for a week or two, but everybody's watched it, they moved on. But if they do it like a 1 week thing, like they do like Mandalorian and all that, it really just keeps it in the public eye long, and that's cool. And if, I just think if more people just get eyes on, Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's going to even be in a bigger thing than it already is, because we as fans, and I know fans love it, but it's still, you got to get a lot of mainstream people into it. So I think Netflix would be the people who could really do that, and especially if they did them as a weekly release. Woo, you'd have that constant, talk about all the time. It'd be Netflix, Zack Snyder's Justice League. What's going to happen this week, and people would keep talking about it.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That's what I want. That's like a dream for me, right? Is to have that. I think I've said this multiple times, but to
give us a bunch of content too to talk about every week, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's also a dream. Like this every day when I after work, me and my lady after work, you do whatever. When by the time it's dinner time, you cook, you get ready to eat. We love to sit and watch TV. I hate hearing people chew food, even myself. So I need like noise on. I hate it. So like I don't want to hear her. I don't want to hear me. That's you know what I'm saying.
You don't like a quiet room with lips smacking?
Oh man, I cannot stand it. Oh, it's the worst. So like we have to watch something, right? And we always like we get into a series, right? So you watch one episode. By the time it's done, it's 9 o'clock. Time to go to sleep, time to get ready for bed, whatever it is. So we do that every night until we're done with that series. Find a new series. If we don't have a lot of time, put like a comedy show on. We're on Seinfeld. We'll watch like a half hour of Seinfeld if we don't have a lot of time. If we have an hour though, we're watching a series show. So like the same thing that you guys said with Mandalorian, with all of these shows. It's just like back in the day. It's putting the same weekly show that you used to have back in the day. Like, oh, catch us next week on whatever, or this last week on this show. Like previously,
same bat time, same bat channel.
Exactly, bro.
In this case, it'd be same Zack time,
the same Zack channel.
Zack could be like that then.
That's the best way to do it, dude. And Netflix is they're already trying new things out as far as with their streaming service. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to it. My lady is huge into their like reality TV shows, and they just have like the Love is Blind finale or some shit. They had it live though. It was a live reunion. Their live stream didn't really work. They had to just record it. So they're trying things out. Not necessarily everything's gonna go to plan when you have a platform that's that big and you've never had a live stream before. So when it was happening and my lady was telling me it was
they live stream Chris Rock's stand-up thing too.
Right, exactly. I think that was a pre-recorded thing.
No.
It was live. Wow.
Damn. So
yeah, because he actually messed up a joke that they edited out of the version that's up there now. So yeah, 100%. No, it was live.
Right.
That was their first live stream.
So they were trying to do it again. I'm sure there was probably more, maybe other shows too. But like, I think it's very, cutting edge for them to be like, hey, we're our streaming service, but we're also going to start doing live streams. Like everyone loves a live event to kind of tune into as well. Like, oh, Sunday night, this show's going to be on, but hey, it's a live reunion. Can you imagine? And I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, okay, so what if Zack Snyder's Justice League is on there? What if we have a fucking live discussion with Zack and all the cast members, like after the last show or the last episode comes out of part 1, and it's like, oh,
they do like a Talking Dead type of thing right after.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, dude. So they can do this stuff. All the revenue and areas of revenue are all open for them. They just need to like it's all there, and I think they're testing things out on their own platform for their own services. But there's a lot of ways when you watch Netflix that those things apply to the possibilities of owning Zack Snyder's Justice League as an IP. You can fully fledge it out as a series. You could do live discussions on it, all of that. So it's very pertinent to hear him talk about the series, it being a series beforehand, and the fact that you could watch it as a series already. like at your own home. And he's like, oh yeah, and there's an IMAX version that has a partition in it, so everyone who's going to see Zack Snyder's Justice League in IMAX, you're going to be treated to a never heard before 15-minute long Junkie XL fucking center sweep or some shit. He says it sweeps in the center. That's what Zack Snyder said.
Center sweep, I think.
Yeah.
You called
Okay. He made that specifically for an intermission that's never been seen yet. So everyone's gonna at least see that. You're gonna see something new there. So I thought that's another little drop that he just gonna threw in for everybody. I'm like, oh shit, Junkie XL has 15 minutes of score we haven't heard yet. Like, I need that. I don't care if it's just like background music. Give it to me. I want to listen to it now for 15 minutes, dude. Like, what the fuck? So they're gonna bankrupt WBD, I guess.
Zach actually brought that up like a while ago during the lead up to the Snyder Cut coming out, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because that's when he talked about the intermission spot being in between part 4 and 5. He was like, that's where he had built that little thing in, and he had brought up how Junkie XL made that intermission, but he just confirmed that it's probably going to be shown at Full Circle too. So yes,
15 minutes, bro. Just Junkie XL score. Just like, can you imagine just having that on in your back room? Just like, yo, like, oh, let's go, like whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of cool
be the hardcore ones that never leave to use the restroom.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Some more popcorn or something.
Just the next time you walk into your nearest comic book store, you'll just hear that on like in a loop in the background. You're like, what is that, Junkie? Oh shit!
Put that on the morning drive and shit.
Is this the intermission? What? Oh my god! But so I thought him talking about the series was very like pertinent to our movement. You know, like it's been talked about, and that's kind of like I would love that, dude. To every night be able to sit down and watch an episode of Zack Snyder's Justice League and like, okay, even if we have to wait till another week, like that's cool, but we got to watch it like this Thursday night or this Wednesday night, and then
he might have been doing he might have been doing a little conditioning for the future.
Exactly, yeah. He's just getting
on everybody's head, you know.
Putting into the universe.
Little seed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought it kind of was when I heard it. I was like, oh, series. You can do more in a series. The cutting edge is the series. Oh, okay. So I thought that was very important to kind of bring up. And when I heard that, I was like, my radar was going off. My spidey sense was tingling. Yo, what up, South Cali? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, it sucks to be Well, they're going to be profiting off of this, ideally, right? Like, that's the whole point of why
they're not going to lose money if this happens. Yeah. Hell no. Yeah, that's the whole point for them.
That's why this works. But
everybody's happy. Well, not
everything out of their hands usually works too, you know. As long as they just
not Dr. Claw.
Exactly, dude. We need to keep that claw out of here, dude.
Can I show something real quick, Austin? Are you talking about this guy?
How did you freaking upload that, bro?
I'm sneaky, bro. I'm sneaky.
That's hilarious. Oh, but the Watchmen thing, you just brought that up. I made me think about the Watchmen picture I never brought up. This just was posted yesterday, I believe. I didn't see it till today, though. Freaking surprise sighting, by the way. The Rorschach, like, he posted this, so Snyder gave him this picture, right? Had to have, or am I just wrong? Did he already have this?
I have no idea how all that went down, but it's amazing.
It's so cool, dude. And just Snyder just retweets it with Rorschach knows. Yeah. Okay. What does he know? What does he know? What do you guys think he knows? Anything?
Oh yeah, he knows. He knows something.
Rorschach knows all.
He didn't survive though, y'all. Just remember that.
Because he knew too much.
He knew too much.
He stuck to what his principles, dude. Regardless of the situation, Rorschach, true blue, man.
Yeah, dude, that's very true. So, we talked about that at length finally, and I was able to I don't remember anything more that I want to bring up besides the last part.
Oh, and Mama Bear, I'm the guilty party. I upgraded that.
Yeah.
That's. I'm like, what does she mean? Upgrade what? Oh, the meme. He upgraded to another level. Yeah, Zack Snyder is up to something, dude. That's what it is. Hashtag up to something. Zack is plotting, dude, and I can't wait to see what it is. There's gonna be some announcements at Full Circle for sure, dude. That's gonna be like SDCC back in the day, like on steroids, bro.
Yeah.
Absolute steroids, bro.
SDCC, huh?
San Diego Comic-Con, bro. Remember that back in the day? How loud that shit was.
That was the king of Comic-Cons. Yep.
I feel like it's gonna be louder than that, bro. Way louder than that.
Right.
So the last part that will prompt it will be this little clip. The last thing we want to talk about. What are you laughing about, bro?
Necron knows why I'm laughing. You were talking about Comic-Con, bro. That message.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Austin has no idea what we're talking about.
I got no idea.
Yeah, if you didn't read the back chat, you don't know.
You didn't read it?
Didn't you read that part about what his plans?
Hey.
I'm doing it. I'm trying. I'll read it.
I'm trying to run a show here.
The chat's like, what is going on? Anarchy. That's what's going on, bro. Fucking anarchy.
Chaos.
Disingenuous copycats. Oh my
god.
Well, this was a tidbit that I jacked from Leon's tweet. He put this on Twitter, so if you're not following Leon, you're missing very important updates as to what's going on.
Leon, you're missing out.
You're missing out. So I have his tweet that I posted this up in the corner. So if you need any of his information, it's at the new Geekz, and new is spelled with NU, and Geekz is spelled with a Z at the end. And you should see it up there. But yeah, this is a part of a video that he posted with a very pertinent little drop. But keep your eyes on Anthony Russo as he processes it within about 5 seconds. He's like, what? And it just skips over. Like, that is the best part about the whole video. So pay attention, y'all.
So now what happens with this? And it was that Lois was like, I'm still in love with Superman. You were kind of a thing, but then at that point Batman had already fallen in love with Lois and was like, okay, now I'm like,
it's brilliant. I want to see that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
one day.
That's super cool.
But so we had done the changes for the studio, and we had, and I mean, look, I'll be frank, Chris and I are not the funniest guys in the world. We're not like, we're not like awesome joke writers.
I don't know. I'm laughing a lot listening. I'm laughing a lot listening to you. I'll say that. But it's, I'm
100%. I'm just 100% honest about that. And we had Ezra, and Ezra's pretty.
Right.
He's pretty funny.
Improver.
So, yeah, he's kind of like, that was kind of his role, to be the Flash and kind of be young and kind of be
the comic relief guy who comes in and brings,
and not quite understanding, and kind of like in awe of Batman and Superman.
Barry Allen. Let me just say that for you. Yeah, man. So he said one day. He did not say, oh, it'll never happen, or oh, like maybe fucking. He said one day.
Well, I'm gonna say there is a 5-hour cut of the movie.
Yeah.
So maybe all that was shot.
Yo, he talked about in this interview how how he shot most of his if not all of his original script, along with all the the other version that the studio was trying to get him to make. So when he said, hey, it seems that they probably shot enough footage for 2 films, like Jason Momoa said, he probably wasn't using hyperbole.
you imagine
Yeah,
that?
dude, absolutely
That's out there
not.
somewhere.
That's and what remember I thought we used to call it the assembly cut, which is the 5-hour one. I thought that's what we used to call it. I could be wrong, but it used to be like mentioned as the assembly cut, and it was like a 5-hour long cut that he had.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I think you're right.
Um,
Just
and I'm just
everything, boom.
yeah, dude, exactly. Well, if they film that, that's very cool. But I like the fact that he mentioned that Lois is like, oh, sorry, you know, Superman's actually the one that I love, but hey, thanks. You were a sweet like side chick. And Batman, Bruce Wayne, basically being his himself, finally rejected by a girl. And every time he's rejected, he's like, "Oh fuck, I need this girl now." Like even the worst fucking girls, as soon as they push him away, he's like, "Okay, guess now I want you." Like Ra's al Ghul's daughter, you know, she's just like the bad villainous type. Catwoman like pushes him away. Oh, now I want you. Like he falls for every single one of them, dude.
The forbidden ones.
Yeah. Of course, Lois Lane is exactly that trope.
Or she tells him that, and he gets that BBS face in the Batcave.
Right.
If there's just a 1% chance, he's back on that.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'll be right back, y'all.
He goes back to BBS Batman here and that.
Yeah, no. So go
I'll
ahead.
be right back.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, go ahead. What did you think about the 1 day comment, and what did it mean to you when you first heard it?
1 day? Oh wow. I mean, just more confirmation of what we're trying to do over here, you know, with Cell ZSJL, the Netflix, Cell Snyderverse, the Netflix hashtags. I think Zack speaks in a language where hope and optimism is like something he like exudes, you know what I mean? With the way he talks. So, and he's not this is why he gets shit done, because he speaks in those terms of like where, you know, a lot of people, this is really kind of going off, but a lot of people speak in negative terms, like it'll never happen. I just don't see it happening. You know, no. What if you first, you know, the battle is hope and optimism, to believe in it, even though when the odds are against, you know, it happening. So Zack speaks in that language, which is perfect for our movement because it's hope and optimism, dude. And of course he obviously knows things we aren't privy to know, and he might let a little thing slip. Who knows? You know, it might have happened. But I take it all under that whole umbrella. You know, I'm like, okay, maybe he let something slip, but he's also saying, you know, to us, don't close the book. You know, it still needs to be finished. So
absolutely.
Hashtag away. We got trendy days coming up this weekend.
Yeah, 1 day. You know what I mean? Like, I think
1 day.
Yeah, I take it that way too. Like, maybe he let something slip, or
next weekend, y'all.
Maybe he.
You know, I'm a week ahead because I made a mistake on my. Yes, it's next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend's trending. 28th, 29th, 30th, right, Sky?
Yeah.
I had to come running back in the living room. I was like, next week. I guess I got my headphones.
I'm not going to get into why I got mixed up on my.
He's like, unmute. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm coming up next weekend. Let me rephrase that. So next weekend's going to be outrageous.
Oh, it's going to be so cool.
I can't wait
to cool.
Seal's live reports and surprises he has, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and this is one thing that TJ is bringing up that I don't know, maybe I thought it was different, right? He said when he's talking about now how we're going to get 10 years of no Earth after Darkseid got the end of life equation, I feel robbed. So I thought it was always 5 years, not 10 years. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know for sure. I wouldn't know.
Like, did he just change it and just like drop it? The post snap world was 5 years. Post anti life equation 10 years. I thought it said even in the storyboards. I thought it was just 5 years on the storyboard.
Damn, 10 years of that.
And now he's saying 10 years. What changed all of a sudden, bro? We're getting 10 years of fucking nightmare. Oh, what the fuck, bro?
We're getting a
10 years.
nightmare
It was 5. So
miniseries.
I'm
What is
right.
going on?
I'm right, dude. It was 5. When I heard 10 years, I was like, wait a second. It was 5, bro. I remember reading the storyboards. Like, it was 5. That's the whole reason why Silver and Infinity War and Endgame was so hilarious to me. I was like, oh, 5 years later. Like, this is fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League, like, part 2 or whatever. Yeah, it was in the storyboards. Of course, Marcus Neo Sevens with the fucking accuracy check on that. Yes, he just dropped 10 years. Oh yeah, you have 10 years of like we weren't gonna fucking know that it was 5 years. He's dropping tidbits, bro, of new info.
He knows like the hardcore guys like no. So yeah, you're right. He knows what he's doing. Zach doesn't.
He knows, dude.
Yeah. One
10
day.
years. Oh, you guys thought you were
That's not a
cute?
slip. That's actually Zach.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, yeah, this is exactly why what Marky said too is like, because they copied it. He's like, oh, you guys thought you were cute with 5 years? Okay, let me do a fucking decade. Let's put
a decade of history.
Yeah, let's just do a decade. Let's see how the Earth looks then, motherfuckers. You think you got AA groups with Captain America and shit in it? Come on, bro. Like, what the fuck? There ain't gonna be a world
chasing your ass down and making you work in the apocalypse pits and shit.
This is gonna be a fucking it's gonna be day 0. They're not gonna know what the fuck.
He's like fucking AA groups. Yeah, come on, man. He said fucking you got fucking parademons chasing you down when you in hell pits and shit.
Yeah, what the fuck,
worry about your zap,
You got fucking mopey Captain America sitting in a circle, dude. Nah,
I ain't got
that.
time to worry about Captain America. I got this parademon on my ass chasing
Yeah,
pits of fire. Oh, man, fuck off.
We got that homie from Korea stopping in saying, he's not a fan of the reboot. We're not a fan of the reboot either, bro. Neither of us.
It's an unnecessary move.
The betas will be barbecued, dude. I don't think there'll be any people left after 10 years, dude. It'll literally just be superheroes and like a few of like the military. Isn't it like the US, like the army is supposed to get a little bit involved with this, or is that just when they reboot and go back in time and fix everything?
Yeah, I think all the world is like the army, all the military, and all. They're all supposed to. The original storyboards were they all united. The whole world unites, including I'm assuming militaries to fight.
Right. Yeah, it's like kind of like how in the history lesson, right? Except it was like the modern militaries that was from around the world. Like it would be like special forces, the Navy SEALs, the Marine Force Recon, they would literally have like all the best of the best out there from like across the world. So
I was just wondering if I couldn't remember if that was
SAS, MI6, you know what I'm saying? All these type of acronyms.
I couldn't remember if that was in the post-apocalyptic world or if that was after they went back in time.
I think that's the reboot, yeah.
After they go back in time, right? And they
after they go back in time.
Because in the post
I think the last the third act of Endgame. Okay. Literally
right. But way better.
Everybody comes back and then everybody comes together. Yeah.
I assume like Rick Flag and the Scott Eastwood's character would be a part of that too. We would probably see a cameo from them in part 3.
It makes sense too because
everybody was supposed to be there.
Right.
Steppenwolf was saying, it's easy to conquer the world now because it's divided.
Mm-hmm. So. Yep. And then everyone's going to have a common point and they'll be able to fix everything. Yeah. Flashpoint. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. So that would have been fucking sick. And one day it will be sick to watch when we see all that come back, 10 years or whatever that is. And I wonder if any of them are going to have like the memory effects that Barry Allen does when he goes to a different universe. If they're going to remember any of the nightmare like timeline, or if it's just going to be completely blipped from their memory. We'll find out. No, you're absolutely okay, my friend from
Oh, yeah.
Canada. Our friend from Canada, I said Korea, a little bit farther and east.
Blame Canada, right?
Yeah, a little bit different. That's so funny. You're all good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Appreciate you. Appreciate
Across
you
the
coming
world,
through the
awesome.
freezing cold takes and supporting the cool table. Absolutely. But yeah, Endgame didn't do time travel. You're telling me Tony Stark didn't figure it out just all of a sudden, dude? What? You're telling me that didn't work? What do you mean they didn't do time travel correctly, bro? That made sense to that didn't make sense to you, bro? That all made like someone just living out in one going back in time and then just becoming old and they're them just existing with him being old and all that just happening, you know? That all made sense to you? None of that made sense. I was watching that. I'm like, okay, well, how does this happen?
I was just rolling with the punches on that stuff. I was
you
like,
just gotta like take it, right? Like, okay, it's a movie, it's a superhero movie. Like, it all works. Yes, it all works. But like, if you're thinking about time travel, you're just like, I'm thinking of as a Flash fan, the people who have to be like so like stingent on time travel. Okay, well, what happens? The butterfly effect of things, right? If Steve Rogers goes back and lives his life with fucking what's her face, none of the events of fucking Civil War, of Winter Soldier, none of that shit happens. So what the fuck? Like all of their experience.
Well, it would have because he would have already done that before he went back in the past, right?
Yeah,
See, that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, but when
So
he goes
it's,
back and changes it. Dude.
Hey, just leave it alone, man. Just leave it alone. That was good enough right there, Austin. Surface level. Just keep it on the surface level, all right?
I walked out of the movie and I was like, well, all right. Okay. If we're supposed to believe that. All right.
Don't look.
Okay.
Hey, look.
Okay.
Look. Don't look behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? It's just surface level.
We're just supposed to believe that lady was sawed in half. All right. Yeah. We're supposed to believe that. Like that. Okay. She was sawed in half.
Just
you guys put it together. You really did that.
The logistics, just believe it.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny to bring that up. So yes, it would be very nice to see Zack Snyder, someone who actually has dealt with time, loops and all that alike. See him deal with it and pull it off in such a clever way. It would be very cool to see. And I know that he wants to surprise us too. So I'm very eager to see what he's cooking up. When he does one day bring this to us. So I thought, him saying that was for all of us. And though, they definitely recorded that months ago. A long time ago.
Yeah, it was definitely recorded a while ago, for sure.
A long time ago. Yeah, Zack Snyder makes time travel make sense. Exactly, dude. Wait, and Marcus is apparently supposed to be answering the Nomad. I don't know what they're talking about. The Nomad, never heard that. But yeah, all Avengers did was make an alternate timeline. Exactly. Yeah, that's what they did.
That's the simple of it right there.
Yeah.
They made an alternate
timeline. No, but do you guys remember when the Russos were saying one thing and the writers were saying something else? That was hilarious. About whether or not it created an alternate timeline. Like one of them said it did, the other one said it didn't. I was like, hold up, like, how is this going on?
And Feige was probably like, hey, shut up, both of you.
You're contradicting the mouse. Stop. Yeah.
Hey, whose work never really contradicts itself and stays with Zack Snyder, yo. He sticks to the same rules, right? He actually explained that during the lead up to Man of Steel, right? Like they created like a big chart and it was breaking down like Superman's power level, right? Yep. And it was like, okay, like it was everything. It was him getting like pretty much shot with everything from like the smallest bullet all the way up to like a nuclear bomb. Right. Yeah. And it was like what it would feel like to him, or like what would happen. Right. And then I remember one of them, it was like, oh, this would feel like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. Right. And it went all the way up to nuke, and then the nuke, it was like, oh, well, who knows, right? It was like a question mark,
Question
like
mark, yeah.
we don't know what happens, right? So yeah, when you are that strict to your rule set, right, it tends to create like a cohesive like set of rules throughout your films that didn't change, right? Like Superman wasn't nerfed in Batman versus Superman, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, that was Superman, right? He didn't downplay him just because he was in a movie with Batman, right?
Yeah.
And so, when you kind of play fast and loose with your rule set, things like that can tend to happen, like what happened in the MCU with the time travel stuff.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's so funny how much different things can be too. And like when you do have that strict like physics of things, like think about it, if you're reading a book, right, and you just understand the physics of our own world that we live in, and you're like, oh, you like this person, rolled down the hill and the hill was very steep, so they went faster and faster, and you can kind of just imagine how that physics works in your mind, right? They kind of had that book with where like, okay, they rolled down the hill, but the hill was like this, and the person rolling was actually, weighed a ton, so they went way fucking faster. And when a normal person goes this speed, they're actually going this speed, and like, so they have that physics difference. Like you said, it feels like a bat here when he's actually getting hit by a fucking bullet or whatever, or a missile. So people can look at that, and when they're writing it, when they're even from the writers down to visual effects and pre-visuals, they can judge off, okay, well, he's getting hit with whatever here, well, he's gonna fly this way, okay, well, how are we gonna light that? So everyone around the production can have that same Bible, so to speak, in
Yeah, it's a
reference
Bible,
point,
show
right?
Bible or movie Bible.
And it's a mathematical, it's understandable down to a mathematical level, but it's also a fantasy, right? So like that is like, it's a perfect that you brought that up, and that's why you avoid those problems, you avoid those discrepancies, and the two people saying two different things, so then there's confusion. And where's the best example of seeing that as a DC fan? Like in the brand is general, in general right now, like you're hearing what is going to happen with this slate. Well, this is happening, and things are being reported by trades, but maybe the head of DC is saying something different online, like, so you don't really know which is happening, and what route is going, what route we're going down. When you have a strict path of rules to follow, it's easy to get down the road and make it to your destination. When you don't have that, you literally have no idea what's going on. And sorry to bore you, bro. But
Oh no, this is more my time.
but did you guys have anything else to
He'll be
say?
here. He'll be dropping Easter eggs.
Did you guys have anything else to say about the interview, the part one? This is the part one of our discussion on it, because it kind of just
Oh yeah.
ended it.
Oh yeah, nah. It just like ended abruptly. I was just
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Yeah,
I was
like,
like, yo,
like what? Well, it's over. Oh, okay.
wasn't no
Huge
outro. You know what I'm saying?
It
Right?
was like
But yeah,
wasn't it like a Batman like drop too? It was off of like Alfred saying something, because he was talking about how Zach said something about how he made a different like hand piece for Batman so he could pick shit up or something like that. Or
yeah.
so like and then they just showed a clip of it and then ended it. Did you guys all look at your YouTube like what?
Yeah. Oh no, for sure.
Did I drop signal somewhere? Something happened. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the ad started playing, and I was like, okay, and then it went back, and then it's like something else started playing, and I was like, what the hell? What happened to the Zach video? And then I went back. I was like, yo, this shit's over. Yeah, I was confused.
But what you're saying earlier, Austin, is basically Zach has all that stuff covered, so there is no confusion.
Right.
He's covered that, so no one gets confused and contradicts. It's already, he has his references for everybody to look at, and they're like, oh, oh, okay, cool. There's no room for interpretation on that when certain things like that.
Yeah, when
So
it really matters too. Like
yeah,
you want the guy who's doing the visual effects to know
to
how.
understand
Yeah.
exactly
And
what's going to happen when this point A hits point B at this speed, or yeah. No, I get it. That wouldn't happen in a Zack situation. He would have it covered. Man, he put the lead on the covers of the bullets or whatever. So
the little like grenade yeah,
yeah,
things.
the canisters that he was
Yeah.
launching. So
Right?
sorry,
Like
foiled
literally,
again.
literally like a little throwaway scene that you wouldn't even notice, right? It wasn't even too in your face or hey, look at this, but no, it absolutely had the oh my god, the element kind
The
of thing,
symbol, yeah, the element.
land. Yeah, it was like, yo, that's dope. What is it,
Dude,
PB, right? I think for lead.
PB, yeah, PB is lead, yeah.
Yeah.
You see it and you're like, dude, the first thing, of course, my dumbass brain, like, peanut butter, what the fuck? Oh, that's a periodic table. Like, what's PB?
I ain't gonna lie, dude. It was just like right over my head.
Like, what
That's
is
like
that? Yeah, didn't even see it.
Batman's making cool shit. That's all.
That's why Superman couldn't see through that shit when
Right.
he opened it, right?
Superman didn't have any idea what it was.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, and well, he caught it and he was just like, tink, this is nothing. And
No,
then
no, 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 no. I'm talking about the smoke grenade.
yeah,
Yeah, he didn't catch that one. I'm talking about the first one that he just threw out there. Remember?
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah.
and he rushed through it and he was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's why he couldn't see through it because that shit had lead in it.
Lead. Okay, word. Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Dude, and it's crazy just that level of detail, right? Like if you miss it, you have no idea. You just like, oh yeah, okay, Superman can't see through smoke, but it's like, nah, dude, it was lead. But like it's not going to be super explained. Like you're not going to have a monologue of Bruce Wayne explain to Alfred exactly what he's doing. And yeah, he won't be able to see through.
They would have done that in a Marvel movie.
Exactly, dude. You know
they would have totally done that. Oh yes, it's covered with
Alfred asking mad dumb leading question. Well, isn't he gonna be able to see through it with his X-ray vision? And he's like, well, actually, and show a montage of him making it. Instead of like the cool shit that we actually saw. So yeah, I love those details, man. And
no hand holding, right? Like it don't hold your hand. It's like, yo, it's there for you if you are willing to partake in it.
You paid for an adult ticket. You expect you to be an adult,
Yeah, dude. You're not gonna see this in the closed captioning. You gotta use your eyes, bro. You gotta use your eyes and actually, interpret it for the art that it is. And man, what a great interview. I was mad that it cut off like it did. I had to go back and I was like, is this an upload error? Someone said earlier the outro wasn't in the budget. It's so funny. Really well done show though. I think it's a great show. I don't know who's next. But obviously like the timing of the show makes sense because Full Circle's going down. It's kind of cool that they did that. That's kind of like real hype time for Zack Snyder. Everything's popping for Snyder. So very important time for them to be putting this out. And I don't know who I have next, but I'm like, yo, it's not gonna do the numbers that this Snyder fucking interview does. No chance, dude. No chance. And do you guys know, off chance, anybody in chat, or if you guys know when the next episode is, they announce it or?
I didn't see anything announced.
Yeah, I didn't see. They're probably gonna grift that for with another teaser. You know what I'm saying? Because that interview is doing numbers.
They'll let that one
Right.
do its thing right before they get the next one out. Hey, let's grip this, and then you'll get this.
Total right, and he actually says this on the next one, guys.
Yeah.
Wait till it gets even more comfortable. I'm hyped for that. I'm absolutely hyped for that. So thank you guys, obviously, for talking about this. Sorry, Leon, you didn't come through, but we were able to use your tweet and get you on the show regardless. So we still got his tweet up there and get that clip up there with the Snyder clip. And thanks for posting that on Twitter. If you're not already, follow me and these gentlemen and Leon on Twitter to keep up to date with everything going on with Cell, with Full Circle, with Snyder in general, with all of our shows, with the Syndicate Network. I told these boys I want to talk about the NBA, but I'm not even gonna look it up. We can just close the show out. It was a perfect discussion, perfect amount of time. And just real quick, the Batman says that Batman also studied Superman's fighting style from Man of Steel. Very true, very true.
We could probably do that on Friday, Austin. You understand, or something, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, the NBA. Yeah,
The
that'd be
NBA,
cool.
yeah. Feel Good Friday, come through. I'm not gonna promo my shit yet. I'll do it at the very end. Go ahead though, Skiiwalker and Necron, if you want to promo, because I know tomorrow night shift is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Night shift took like a little hiatus for almost like a week, almost it seemed. Right. Me and Mikey's schedules was just getting kind of crazy, but we will be back tomorrow evening. Will be a big show. Big show tomorrow night. So make sure that you're tuned in. Night shift with Mikey Sutton on Skiiwalker Tha Jedi's channel. It should be dope. It should be dope.
Will be dope for sure, dog, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And Necron, go ahead and Mama Bear's
Oh
already
yeah.
got you the link right here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mama Bear. Yeah, I
Let's
did
go.
a fun Pandora's box tonight with Speak of the Devil, Mikey Sutton, Troublemaker #1. Watch that. If you didn't watch it, watch it. Got the link right there. No excuse. And of course, on Friday night, Witching Hour. And I'm gonna have my friend Jeff from Imprecation and Trenchant, who played a really cool metal fest, and we're gonna recap it, and he's gonna talk about it.
Nice.
So
Nice.
he'll give some insight into the show.
Yeah, if you haven't,
Foreigner, yeah, Mikey.
it'll be Foreigner. Which song of Foreigner, dude, are just their greatest hits, bro?
You gotta watch, bro. You got Mikey wants everyone to go listen to The Foreigner. I've been waiting on a Girl Like You 12-inch version extended mix.
The extended mix of it? Okay.
Extended mix with Thomas Dolby on keyboards. I didn't even know that.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't know that either. You guys gotta realize when you guys start talking classic rock, like that's uncharacteristically you might not know, but that's my wheelhouse. Like that's what I grew up with. My parents, if they were fans of anything, they were giant fans of classic rock. Like my mom's the biggest Led Zeppelin fan. It might be token for like her, but my dad loved Rush. So I'm a huge Rush fan, and he got me into like a lot of weird like political rock bands and shit. So yeah, when you start talking about Foreigner and things of that nature, I'm like, okay. I used to listen to that on 8-track, dude, in my parents' basement. Like, let's go, dude.
Well, you love Tom Brady, so you must love Boston.
Yeah, I do. And so did my dad. So did my dad, too. My dad hated Tom Brady, which is the best part. Yeah, dude, everything. Dude. Oh my god.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And there's a scrub. You guys remember the TV show called Scrubs? With they were doctors.
Mm-hmm.
It was on NBC, I believe.
Yeah.
There was this one episode where they had an air like guitar band, and that's like it's a I forget what the song is now, but it's a Boston song that they're playing the whole time, and it's like that's me like playing air guitar to Boston, like in my dad's like seat. Yeah, just trying to make my dad laugh too, like playing every single instrument to his favorite songs. I grew up doing that, yeah, every single car ride. So when you guys start talking about classic rock, I'm there. I'm absolutely there. I'll be listening to that Foreigner. If there's a mix of Foreigner I haven't listened to, I got to. So yeah, absolutely listen to Pandora's Box. Be there for Pandora's Box, and be there for the metal show tomorrow night, the Witching Hour. Those are always Friday a lot night. Of fun. You catch a whole different side of Necron's fandom and what he's up to. Dude, I just love chiming in and just knowing that there's so many people who are passionate about one thing, like keeping it alive, and they keep doing it. It's like, oh shit, you guys are still like performing and still doing your artwork. I love that shit. It hypes me up. It gives me inspiration. That's why I love tuning in. And you're like, oh yeah, and you just like throw on another song and here's some shit from fucking Germany, from this and that, and all of a sudden it's just like blowing your ears off. Like, oh okay, like fucking hell. Like it's going to it so chill, I mean, dude. It's so funny.
Those pretty much are my 3 passions outside, my life, like my marriage and whatever. Metal, my geeky comic shit, and sports.
Yeah, dude.
I love that. That's what I get into outside of my other shit, man. My
The,
life, work, whatever, But
the
yeah.
trifecta.
Mhm.
That's all that matters, bro. The things that make the wheels go round. But yeah, tomorrow night, witching hour, and then Pandora's
No,
box
no,
will be
no.
again. Go
Friday
ahead.
Friday night.
Oh, Friday night. Well,
Yeah.
well, it's Thursday
Got-
now for me. It's Thursday now for you too,
Oh,
bro.
okay. I guess
So,
so. Yeah.
and if you're
I don't
watching
call
this,
it the next day till I wake up.
yeah, you're right. You're right. If you're watching this
Right,
on the
Skywalker. It's still freaking.
facts,
It's still Wednesday to me.
no, yeah, that's
I don't give
always
a damn what time it is. This
yeah.
When
is
I wake up,
Wednesday
it's
sleep,
the next
right?
day.
Yeah, this is Wednesday's sleep that y'all about
Yeah,
to get, right?
right.
100%. I don't
Even
give a
if
damn
it's
what
like an
time it is.
hour, yeah, right. You and the boys like going to sleep real good. Yo, man, it's the one person who's like, well, technically it's Thursday, and you're like, yo, shut the fuck up, dude. No one, no one likes that person. But yeah, I was messing that up. It is Friday night. I was thinking it was Thursday already. So yeah, Friday night, the witching hour. Tomorrow night is night shift. So make sure you guys check that out. And Friday will be Feel Good Friday back here. I won't have to wait for no insurance dudes to walk through my place, so I won't have to not stream. I do have an appointment to take my dog to later in the afternoon, but that's later in the afternoon. We'll be a morning stream hanging out, so everyone will come through. Hopefully, the boys will be here, and we'll be able to talk some sports, talk more Zack Snyder stuff. If more Snyder stuff is dropped, I'm sure it will in between now and tomorrow, and we can recap.
Skywalker had a wacky stream last night about a wacky individual, and it was really
Exactly.
bonkers.
Exactly. And we need to touch on that a little bit too, for sure, for sure. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
dude,
great.
that's what's going on for us. We got Syndicate Network shows all the time, every single day. And if you're not following us, the links are right down there. The ads are right down there. Make sure you're subbed to every single one of us, and make sure you're following every single one of us so you don't miss a stream and you don't miss
Colonel
spaces or
Gate.
anything like that. What are you laughing at?
Colonel Gate. They call
Colonel
him Colonel
Gate.
Gate.
Oh, yeah.
Buckethead.
Freaking A. But all right, yo. Any guys last comments before we get out of here?
I'm good, man. It was a fun stream. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Thank you guys for pulling up. Thank you guys for being here as usual. Sky, anything before we go?
Man, look, make sure y'all head on over to geekositymag.com. Check out some fresh drops from the homie Mikey Sutton and Kieran Bug. They've been over there putting in mad work, yo. So make sure that y'all go on over there, show them some love, especially them confirming the homie Steele's scoop that, the Clooney verse is real. You're right. So yeah, be sure to check that out. And also, yes, check out the stream from last night that I did where we chronicled James Gunn's obsession with Zack Snyder. And also the recent return of OG talk that I did with Will Rollins. Man,
yeah.
it's been a lot of stuff dropping on my channel, yo. Will Rollins confirms and describes him seeing the air cut, right? This man talked about a possible planning of a DC Marvel crossover years ago. Years ago. He also spoke about that, right? Kind of put that out there.
That's like revealing, dude, and what he actually saw on set is like,
yeah,
unreal.
Right? From an actual set visit, from on set. Yeah. He also talked about hashtag sell ZSL to Netflix and hashtag sell Snyderverse into Netflix, and gave his thoughts and opinions very eloquently and professionally about why he thought that it could happen. And there was just so much stuff going on in that interview, and that's been going on the platform in general. So make sure that you guys are subscribed because there's a lot of heat coming from over there. 100%.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah, you're missing out if you're not sub to Sky's channel. And we got to get him to 1K before, was it May 26th, 28th?
Before May 23rd.
23rd.
Right, we got to get me to 1K. Mikey's promising a smorgasbord of like goodies, man. Signed copies of Dreamwalker, appearance in Dreamwalker, all kind of secret stuff, man. Like this guy, Mikey, is really laying the gauntlet down. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and be in the pool of winners, of potential winners. Potential winners. There you go. Winners. So much love, and thanks for having me on here. This was a great stream.
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for it. Wouldn't be no stream without you being here. So appreciate you, man. And it's so funny. Not even just being a pool of potential winners, but when you are sub to Sky, you're just a winner in general. You know what I'm saying, dogs? Everyone, till next time. We'll see you on Friday on this channel. We'll see you tomorrow night on Night Shift. Be easy, yo. Peace.
Bye.